Hello, my name is Mike Emo, and welcome back to part 4 of an introduction to Angular. In this video, we're going to implement the distinct products filter. So I want to start by just quickly mentioning in our last video, we saw how we had this get category status style. And in here, I'm looking at the category. Does it equal the currently selected category? If so, return primary, btn primary. And that gives us this effect here of this blue highlighted category. One thing I want to introduce, I want to mention before we move on to actually implementing this filter, is this notion of constants. Remember how in an earlier video I talked about how an Angular module is like a container? You can drop things in this container. You can drop in controllers. You can drop in filters. You can drop in all these various things. One of the things you can drop in there is we're going to drop in a constant. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in here and say dot constant, spell constant, active category. Now let's do active category. And we're just going to have the value be btn primary. Okay, so this is a kind of an aha moment. What I'm going to describe for you is one of the things that made me go, what? How does this work? And one of the things I want to show here is I've got this module, sports app module, and I'm going into its list of constants. And I'm saying, okay, I want to create a new constant called active category, and here's the value. Okay, when I'm done with this, I'm done with that step, with that operation, that workflow. I'm finished with constants. Then I'm coming over to the sports app module and I'm asking for its controller. And I want to add a new controller to this controllers collection. And here's the method. So these two things are very, very different steps. Okay. But one of the things I want to do here is I want to go in and I want to add active category. Not only do I want to add active category, just for the heck of it, I'm just going to go ahead. Whoops. Category. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to change the order of this. First time I saw this, I thought, what? You can't do that. The old C#, C++ developer in me, so you just can't change function signatures like that. How does that work? Actually, you can in JavaScript with Angular, because Angular uses this dependency resolver to go through and analyze all these parameters. And so it says, okay, you want this HTTP service? Let me see if I can find that. You want a scope? Let me see if I can find that. Oh, you want this active category? Let me see if I can find that. So it looks throughout its module and all of its child modules, and it finds, hey, I've got a constant called active category. You know what? I can satisfy that. And so I'll go ahead and pass that value in to this method. Okay. So if I go here, I can use this active category, and I can place it here. I can save all this, run it, and everything still works. Now I want to point out this console down here. Notice how we've got the console showing. I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to enlarge this. I'm going to go ahead and change the spelling of this. I'm just going to script the spelling. So what's going to happen is Angular is going to look at this, and it's going to look through the constants. It's going to look throughout its module. It's going to look throughout the root scope. It's going to look everywhere and try to satisfy this dependency. And it's not going to be able to satisfy the dependency, and so we're going to get this error, injector error, unknown provider, and then it passes in this string, this badly formatted string. So we're going to come over here and change this, save it, and let's come up here, refresh, and we see that now it's working again. So here's another example of how you can use this module as a container to drop things in, and then later on you can use the resolver providers in Angular to pass these things into your controllers, filters, and what have you. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to implement this filter to only show the products that are in the currently selected category. Now here's another aha moment. I'm going to describe another aha moment for me when I was learning Angular. You see this implementation here of this distinct categories? This is a filter, okay? This is how you implement an Angular filter. When I was learning Angular, I saw that there was some built-in filters, right? And we've already seen some of them. We've got this currency filter. We use the order by up here in this ng repeat directive. There's a date filter. We implemented a custom filter. Well, there's another filter in Angular called the filter filter. Very confusingly named filter filter. And I remember the first time I was working with this, I went through this exercise and I said filter these product and product categories. Category product. So I went through this and I thought, oh, okay, so I'm going to implement this filter. So this must be how you do filters. And then I was confused. I thought, well, what's the difference between what I'm doing here, what I'm about to do, and this distinct categories where I actually ask the module for its filters collection and do it this way. And that's when I realized later on that this is a built-in filter, confusingly named the filter filter. So the filter filter, just like the order by, takes a parameter that says here's the filter, or excuse me, here's the field I want you to order by. The filter filter takes the name of a function that should be called. And it's expecting that this method return a true or false. So for each product, I'm going to pass, the filter filter is going to pass each product into this category product, and that function should return true or false. Do you want me to render this product or don't you? And again, this method is going to go on the scope object. So we're going to go to our main controller, and we're going to implement this method. We're going to say scope dot product category equals function, and again, each product is going to be passed into this method. So we're going to say product in question, and all we're going to return is a true or false. Is this product in question, is its category match the category that's currently selected? So in order to do this, it's very simple. I simply say return product in question dot category equals the current category. Current category is defined up here, and we saw that the default is home. Or, so does the product in question dot category equal the current category? Well, none of our products have the category of home. So we have to add or current category equals home. So if the current category equals home, then always display whatever product is in question. If the current category is not home, only return true if the categories match. So if we save this now, come back to Angular, refresh, we see that our filter is now working. Great. All right, so quick review what we've implemented. We've just shown how to use the constants inside your module. I've showed how to implement the filter filter. And the one last thing I want to describe in this video before we move on to our next video is this notion of dependencies. You remember in part 2, I talked about defining a new module. I talked about how a module can have these dependencies, and right now we don't have any dependencies. So here's a scenario: sports app. Okay, we're developing this website for a client of ours, and this is the public-facing website. This is where customers are going to come to shop and buy their products. Well, we also have an administrative side of this application where employees at Sports App, they're gonna log into the app and log into an administrative side to provision new products, repricing, things like that, complete sales, what have you. And so we've got some stuff that's reusable here. For example, this this distinct categories, this is a module, or this is a filter that we want to be able to reuse. And rather than put this into the sports app module right here, the sports app module is for the public-facing website. And when we eventually get around to building the administration site, it's going to have a different module, main module, different project altogether. And so we'd like to be able to reuse this file. And rather than stick it in the sports app module, we're going to call this the sports app common. And because this is a new module, we need to define it as a brand new module. Okay. And if we save this now and try to run this application, we're going to find that we're going to get an error. It's going to say, I can't find this distinct categories. The reason it can't find the distinct categories is because Angular only knows about our main module. And it's looking through the main module and its filters. It's looking everywhere for this distinct categories in the filters collection, and it doesn't find it. And because our view doesn't know anything about this other module, this common module, it doesn't know to look there. And so the way we're going to solve that is we're going to take this sports app common module that we just defined, and we're going to come back here to our sports app, and we're going to tell this module, sports app, that it has a dependency on the sports app common module. So now our main module contains, it's a container, it contains an inner nested child, whatever you want to call it, sports app common module. So now if we save this, Angular is going to look in the main modules filter. If it doesn't find it, it's going to go through this list of dependencies, and now it finds it. So that is an example of a module having a dependency on a custom built module. Thank you.